Hi all, welcome to today's session on NLP Basics. Some of the functions what I'll be teaching in NLP Basics can be used for doing some public policy analytics, and the code which I'll be using can also be further used in your other kind of text analytics. So welcome to this session. So what is NLP? NLP is nothing but natural language processing. It is a kind of a programming language which is used for text analytics, and it has a wide application due to huge volume of available text data. As you can see, like if you go to the internet, you can see the text everywhere, right? So it's a huge amount of data which is available in the private sector and also in the public sector, which could be analyzed, and which could the analysis could help the various decision making processes. So it has a wide application both in the public sector and the private sector. If you take private sector, it has application in developing some chatbots and identifying the spam, and also in providing some security to the database in the company. And also in the public sector, it is also widely used. For instance, like to understand the sentiment of people regarding particular policies. So the sentiment analysis could be done. So basically, text is nothing but a sequence of words, just like this, what you're seeing. So there are a lot of words here, right? So we need to make a sense of these words. That is where the NLP comes in. For instance, these are the complex words. It's a raw text, and this raw text could actually be separated as a word or a sentence or a character or a paragraph. Okay, for further analysis. So NLP as a text analytics can be used for various purposes, in terms of solving our problems. For instance, like if you want to identify unique characters in a paragraph or in a sentence, for instance, like if you want to identify a hashtag, so it is going to help it out. And if you want to break down a sentence into words or 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 into sentences per se, or as a paragraph. And for instance, like if you want to understand the meaning of the word, for instance, in the previous thing we saw, there was extraordinary government of India gazette notification, right? If you want to understand what is the meaning of the word extraordinary uh, in the given context of the document, there we can use the NLP. And if you want to get to know what is the sentiment of a people or a customer regarding a particular product, we can use sentiment analysis. We can use NLP as a spam detectors. See the sentiment analysis, spam detectors, chatbot, or topic modeling, and large language models like ChatGPT and all. These are all advanced level of text analytics algorithm what they use. So here in the session, like what we'll be looking into is the basic programming language, which could be used for doing very simple analysis, right? So the first step always with respect to doing starting of the text analytics is we need to do a lexical processing. So for instance, if we have a raw text, we can divide this raw text into words or a sentence or a paragraph based on our requirement for a specific problem. And it would also involve a lot of doing pre-processing words. For instance, like we need to, if required, we will be eliminating the stop words over there, which I'll be teaching how to remove the stop words. And also a very basic analysis like doing a word frequency cloud that would also help us in identifying what are the frequent words in our text. So it could give us an idea what the text is speaking about. And and we need to understand that in the lexical processing there's a drawback in a sense that we won't get to know the meaning of particular word here. So it stops there in just dividing a word. So it doesn't give us an understanding what do we mean by extraordinary, right? So for that we need to go into step 2 and step 3 aspect of the analysis. The step 2 would involve syntactic processing. or analysis. So herein we can identify a relationship between a subject and the object. So the algorithm can differentiate what is a subject, what is an object here. So it establishes the relationship between the words. Uh, uh, like for instance, like um, Anil is giving an ice cream to Ram. So it can identify the subject or establish a subject, establish a relationship between Anil and an object called as an ice cream over there. Okay. Uh, for instance, and also who is the Prime Minister of India? It could establish Prime Minister of India is Narendra Modi. It could establish a relationship between. I think this would be a better example. Prime Minister of India is Narendra Modi. If you have a text like this, uh, it could establish a relationship between that. Okay, Prime Minister of India is Narendra Modi. Okay, so Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. So syntactic processing helps us in doing these things, but it does have certain limitations. For instance, imagine the text might tell instead of Prime Minister, at some point it might tell PM of India is Narendra Modi. So uh, it may not be able to differentiate between the PM and the Prime Minister. Okay, so you are getting the complexity of it. So that differentiation could be solved using semantic processing. Okay, I'll be teaching very basics of this so that you could use these codes and you can further study about them on the online or through your physical textbooks. So the basically uh, the text analytics would cover lexical processing, syntactic processing, and semantic processing. So what I'll be doing in the next session would be like I'll be taking each and every code and explain to you uh, uh, explain to the purpose of the code and what is the outcome you are going to get out of the code. So in your projects, you can use such codes and try and understand what the text says. Especially, it could be used for large text data if you have it, and you can also make it as your project in terms of developing some chatbots or spam detectors or doing a sentiment analysis using some of these codes. These codes are going to be very useful for you guys, especially if you know the concept, the principles behind it, which I won't be going much into it. I'll be just showing what is the purpose of the code and how to execute the code and what outcome you can derive of that code. Yeah, thanks.